July 13th, 2024, shots ring out at a rally for former President Donald Trump in Butler County.
You know, it was like boom, and then boom, I turned and I watched him look and go down, and I was like, this is happening, like something seriously happened here.
Amid the chaos, stories emerge of a hero. Corey Comperatore losing his life as he shielded his family from the gunfire. Those who know him say that kind of heroic action was in Corey's nature.
It wouldn't even surprise me if it was complete strangers he did the same exact thing for.
Today in our extended exclusive interviews, his wife and daughters share his story with us. From those tragic moments,
I was like, oh my God, like somebody's shooting.
To the man they say they will always remember.
He was a great man that was a great father. He was a great husband.
For the Record starts now. Welcome to For the Record. I'm Michelle Wright. It has now been more than 6 weeks since a moment that shocked the nation that happened right here in Pittsburgh's backyard. Gunfire at a rally for former President Donald Trump in Butler County. Trump is currently seeking another term in office on the Republican ticket. Several people were injured, including the former president, and one brave man lost his life. Corey Comperatore shot and killed less than a month after his 50th birthday and just a week before he was going to celebrate his 29th wedding anniversary. Corey's family reached out to me, expressing that they wanted to give a thank you for all the public support they've received over the past 6 weeks, and they also trusted me to tell his story. So let's begin as I sit down with his wife, Helen, to learn more about the man she says was a man of faith, a devoted husband, and a loving girl dad. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. I know so many people in the community have reached out and offered emotional support, financial support, and you have a message for them.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. They've been amazing. It's been so overwhelming. From the very minute that news got out that it was Corey, people were at my door with food. I've probably received, I'm gonna say 600-700 cards, and they've come from all over the country with letters in them. They're not just signed, with letters, checks. Just from my community alone, I've gotten meals, Tunnels to Towers paid for his funeral. I've paid for nothing. I've had to pay for nothing. His entire funeral was paid for. The meal afterwards was paid for. I am just so overwhelmed. Like, it's just unbelievable, the kindness that came out from all this. Just unbelievable.
Let's talk a little bit more about Corey. You say he loved to fish. Talk about that.
He did. He loved to fish. We went every weekend. If it was, I mean, he went even in the rain. You know, his answer always was, well, the fish are wet, they don't care. So, you know, he fished. But yeah, that was his absolute favorite thing to do.
Tell me how you met. You were sweethearts in high school. Tell me about that.
Actually, Corey and I went to school together since we were in kindergarten, and we started dating our sophomore year in high school, and it was Valentine's Day. Corey showed up at my house with a dozen of red roses, so we just started dating. I said, does this mean we're dating? He said, yeah, I think so. I said, okay. So we just started dating, and and we got married in July of 1995.
Where were you married?
We were married at St. Joseph's Catholic Church, right out in Cabot. It's church almost right by the church we attend right now.
A lot of the neighbors have described him as a girl dad. You had your daughters with you at the rally.
Yeah.
Describe Corey as a girl dad.
Oh, he loved having girls. Absolutely loved it. He was the best dad. He never missed any events, cheerleading competitions all day long, soccer games. You know, he just loved having little girls, just loved it. He put ponytails in, you know, he did it all. He was a great dad.
What would you say is Corey's proudest moment?
I would definitely say probably his children, the birth of his children, definitely. Corey was very religious, and Corey followed the Bible. So Corey loved God first, then he loved his wife, and then he loved his children. And I know some people look down on that, but that is the way it goes. And that is the way Corey lived his life.
Is there anything else you want us to know about Corey that you might have thought of sharing with us?
Just that, you know, everybody knows he was just a wonderful man, and I just want everybody to, you know, try not to remember him as the man that was shot at the rally. You know, just try to remember Corey as, you know, he was a great man that was a great father. He was a great husband, and, you know, he was humble. We were a quiet family. We were a very quiet family. You know, he went to work every day. He came home. He took care of his dogs. He loves his dogs. And we'd sit on the porch and drink coffee at night. You know, we were a quiet family.
Ahead, in just 2 minutes, we go back to that fateful July day and learn more about Corey's final heroic moments from both his wife and daughters. And before we go to break, I do want to give a quick update on the other 2 Pittsburghers injured in that shooting, David Dutch and James Copenhaver. Both have been released from the hospital and are recovering at home. We're back after this. Welcome back to For the Record. My conversation continues now with the wife and daughters of Corey Comperatore, who tragically lost his life during the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump by gunman Thomas Crooks at a rally in Butler County last month. There have been many questions about the possible security and communication failures that led up to the shooting. Helen, Allison, and Kaylee Comperatore were all there as well. Pittsburgh's Action News 4 capturing video of the family a short time before the shooting. They tell me more now about those fateful moments. Let's talk a little bit about that day. You said there was an uneasy feeling when the rally began.
Yeah, it was just an odd day. I mean, we were all excited. You know, Corey was excited to be there, but it just felt different. It was just a different feeling there. Just everybody kind of had a weird, odd feeling that day.
Even before anything happened. Mm-hmm. When you heard the gunfire, did you know what was going on?
No, I thought it was firecrackers. I just actually picked my head up and started looking around for someone, you know, throwing firecrackers, and I could actually feel them going past my face. And yeah, I had no idea.
We've described Corey as a hero for what happened. Can you talk about what his actions were when the gunfire rang out?
Yeah, I just heard him yell, "Get down," and I could feel him push me, you know, downwards. And then, you know, that was it.
He saved your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the kind of person he was.
Yeah.
Your daughters were there too?
Yes.
How was it when you realized that the gunfire hit Corey?
It was terrible. I mean, it was horrendous.
The bullets meant for former President Trump hit Corey. How do you feel about that?
I'm angry, obviously. My husband took a bullet for him. But, that unfortunately was the plan that day,
From God?
Yeah.
Do you ever ask God why?
Yes. All the time. Why? All those people, why my Corey?
You went to the rally thinking that you were going to be safe. There was lots of Secret Service around, lots of local police. You had every expectation that it was going to be a really safe, secure place. How do you think this happened? How do you think that this was even able to happen?
You tell me. Because it could have saved my husband's life. I don't understand where the mix-up was from the messaging. It was a phone call or a message. Like, how hard was it to take him out? There's a guy on the roof with a gun. How hard was it to get him subdued?
Do you have a message for the Secret Service?
Yeah, I just want them to stop with the, I can't answer that now. I can't answer that now. They have answers. And they need to come out and just give us the answers. Be honest and just answer.
What do you think about the local police officers that were there on the scene? I know we've been focusing a lot on the Secret Service. How do you feel about the local officers that were around this warehouse building?
I really can't say anything bad about the police. They were wonderful with us that day. I don't know. Where I have the issue is the people that are saying the communication issue. Mm-hmm. Like, what happened there? But other than that, I know there was one that tried to climb up, and he's having a really hard time with that. And I do want him to know that, I praised him for trying, and there's no hard feelings or anything. But they were there to do ground control. The Secret Service should have had people on that building. Plain and simple. That building should have been covered. They failed. It falls on them. I can't blame our police officers.
And after speaking with Helen Comperatore about those moments, I also asked Corey's daughters about their memories of when the gunfire broke out.
It was, one second I was standing there next to my dad, and the next minute I was trying to help him. He threw me down, and when I turned around, he was down, and I tried to help him. And then people did come to help him, and I got rushed away, and that was just, it felt like it. When I say that it felt like time stopped, it really did feel like time. Like, I felt like there was nothing else going on around me. Like, it was just, I was just there and doing that, and it didn't feel like anything else was going on. I had no idea what was going on around me. I was just right there.
Did you understand what was happening? It was all so fast.
So my mom had said that she thought that it was firecrackers going off. When I heard the first shot, in my mind, I had thought, oh my gosh, did a sniper just kill somebody? Like, that was my first initial thought. And then the next thing, you know, like, as my dad was pushing me down, that's when Trump ducked behind the podium, and that's when I was like, oh my God, like, somebody's shooting. And then everything else after that was just taking care of my dad, trying to take care of my dad.
And what about you, Kaylee? How was that moment for you?
I also didn't know what was going on. I heard 3 shots, and I didn't comprehend that it was gunshots until my friend threw me to the ground. And I was ducked in the bleachers, and what made me look to my dad was I felt his blood completely splatter my leg, and I looked and I saw him laying face down in the bleachers, and I started screaming, but in my head I kept saying, wake up, like this is a dream, wake up. And then you realize it's not a dream, and you feel like your whole world is just over.
Do you have a message for the Secret Service in all of this?
Probably not. That's appropriate for the nation to see. But I have words.
I just want them to know that I really think my dad's blood is on their hands, and I hope they wake up every day thinking about what they took from our family, because we have to wake up every day and see that image of our father in our head, and no child should ever have to see that. So I hope they think about that every day.
The family says they have hired an attorney and that they want answers about security at that rally. We're back after this. Welcome back to For the Record. That fateful day, July 13th, was the day Corey Comperatore attended his first political rally for former President Donald Trump. His family tells me he was excited to be there, but of course, they had no idea the tragedy that would befall them that day and how Corey would later be honored in front of the nation.
What a fine man he was.
I spoke with Corey Comperatore's wife and daughters about the moment seen by the entire nation. Former President Donald Trump having Corey's firefighter gear on stage with him at the Republican National Convention just days after the former fire chief's death. Corey served 10 years in the Army Reserve, volunteer firefighter, former fire chief here. His gear was displayed at the Republican National Convention. What was that like, seeing his stuff up there on the stage?
That was an honor. That was a big honor. Yeah, that was a big honor. I'll tell you why. All day at the rally, my husband kept saying, he's gonna call me up on stage. You're gonna hear him, he's gonna say, Corey, come on up here. Corey, get up here. He was just joking, you know, obviously, but he kept saying that. You're gonna get up, you know, he's gonna call me up on stage. And we were all like, there's his moment. He's up on stage. So, yeah, he got his moment on stage.
Corey's daughter is telling me more about why that moment was so significant to the family. Was that the first time he had seen former President Trump? And that was his very first time, so that's why he was so excited.
So excited.
He talked about it for weeks.
And he had a special seat.
Yeah.
Well, so prior to the rally, you get text message updates, you know, like what you can and can't bring in, what time the gates open, what time the speakers go on, all that stuff. So we're in line, and everyone around us, he had to be like, oh yeah, I have to make sure I sit nice and close because Trump's gonna call me up on that stage. He's gonna go, Corey, where's Corey? I can't do this without Corey up here. Oh, there he is, come on up here. And, you know, everyone around us is just laughing. He's like, really though? He's been texting me all week. Every day I've been getting a text from him. Like, he was just so excited to be there.
And as your mom said at the convention, all of his stuff was there up on the stage. He was called up. Must have been touching to see that.
It was. Yeah. I told him, I was like, well, you got your moment. It's what you've been talking about for so long, and you were right, you actually got it.
Yeah. I think I was very, I don't know, it was cool to see, but at the same time, I was kind of mad that he got his chance to be on stage, because, like, he shouldn't have gotten his chance to be on stage like that. He got there, but I'm just, you know, I was upset of just how he got there.
Coming up, a final thought from Helen Comperatore as she remembers her husband. And I want to let you know about a For the Record web extra. Log on to WTAE.com or the WTAE app right now to hear more from Corey Comperatore's daughters about how they're remembering Corey as a girl dad and their memories of him as a former fire chief. We're back after this. Welcome back. As we wrap up this half hour, I want to share with you a touching final thought from Helen Comperatore. She tells me about the conversations she has with her late husband, Corey, and how the memory of him is helping to guide her through this difficult time. What would you say to Corey today if you were able to talk to him about all this? What do you think you would say to him?
If I was able to talk to him about
Everything that's happened?
Oh, I talk to him anyway, and the only thing that ever comes out of my mouth is, I'm sorry this happened to you. That's all I ever say. I'm so sorry this happened to you. I say that every day. That's all I can say.
You think he's watching what's happening?
Yeah, I know he is. I know he's with me. I feel him guiding me at times, you know. So, but I know he would want me to get to the bottom of it. I know he would.
Maybe he'll help you do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know Corey, and he knows the right thing to say is, you know, God always prevails, and he'll get to the bottom of it.
The Comperatore family says they plan to start a foundation with the money that has been raised since his passing. Thank you for joining us for the Record. We'll see you next week.